Hello, this is Mike from Dimensional Walking, and today I'm going to call this video, Could Greenland be considered a UFO hotspot? So, Greenland rarely makes headlines outside of climate science and geopolitics. A lot of geopolitics lately, right? But a quieter, strange question has been simmering beneath the surface for decades. Could Greenland actually be a UFO hotspot? So, when you start pulling the threads, historical sightings, the military secrecy, the strange lights over the ice and inside the enormous reserves of rare earth minerals, the case could be surprisingly compelling. Okay, so let's get started. Greenland is a perfect stage for UFO phenomena. It is the world's largest island, yet almost entirely uninhabited. I think the whole population, which is all pretty much in the southern part of the country, is about 55-ish thousand people, which is nothing compared to the size of that country. Okay. Its internal area is a frozen desert where humans are presence is very minimum. Radar coverage is spotty, and weather conditioning conditions distort uh, uh, electromagnetic signals. Combine that with the presence of UFO military installations, World War relics, and some of the richest minerals on Earth, and you get a recipe for sightings that slip through the cracks of official reporting. But sightings do exist, and they go back further than most people realize. So let's talk about some of the sightings, okay? So in the 1950s, the famous Air Force base that's up there in it is called Thule Air Force Base, which is a U.S. base, and it's located in the northwestern part of Greenland. It's one of the most strategically important U.S. outposts. It basically monitors Soviet or Russian missile activity and houses early warning systems and has some of the most profound early warning systems there. Declassified reports mention unidentified aerial objects tracked moving at impossible speeds over the base's radar system. These objects reportedly performed sharp angle maneuvers inconsistent with any known aircraft of the era. Some accounts from retired personnel describe glowing orbs hovering over the ice sheet or the ice shelf before shooting straight upwards. The classic vertical departure signature seen in many global UFO sightings. And then there's this called Camp Sentry, which is this kind of infamous city under the ice. Um, it was really a U.S. Army research station built beneath the Arctic ice sheet. Officially, it was a scientific outpost. Unofficially, it was tied to a project called Project Iceworm, which most people have never heard of, I'm sure. It was a plan to hide nuclear missiles under the ice. Okay. Workers reportedly reported strange lights moving silently across the sky during the long polar nights. Now, let me back up a minute. As you probably know, anything that has to do with nuclear weapons, nuclear power plants, just anything with that nuclear thing in it, word in it, uh, UFOs and aliens have been interested in for a very long time. So some people describe these luminous objects descending towards the ice sheet miles from the camp in areas inaccessible to vehicles or aircraft. Because the entire project was classified for decades, the sightings remain buried in personal journals or oral histories. Then we're going to go to uh, 2020, 2002. Okay. So there's a fisherman near a village called, I believe it's Nuke, reported a metallic disc hovering low over the water before ascending towards the mountains. The object was described as mirror-like, okay, reflecting moonlight but making no sound. Reflecting moonlight but making no sound. So you got that? Okay. The Danish authorities dismissed it as an atmospheric distortion, a common fallback explanation for things like this in the Arctic region. But witnesses insist the object was solid and structured. Okay. And then in 2018, there was something called the Black Triangle over I think it's pronounced Connacht. Okay. Multiple residents of Connacht reported a triangle craft with three white lights gliding silently across the sky. These triangles are among the most common reported UFO shapes in the worldwide. But seeming one in such a remote area raises questions. Was it a classified UFO aircraft, um, or something else completely? So then there was a period of time between 2021 and 2023, uh, where there was these, again, commercial satellites really start coming on board during that time frame, and they were capturing some high resolution imagery over the Arctic. And the analysts would notice these fast moving luminous anomalies streaking across Greenland's upper atmosphere. These weren't meteors, their trajections were not horizontal but downward. Well, I'm sorry, I did exactly the opposite. Some of they were not downward, they were horizontal, which makes it a completely difference. Okay, meters don't go horizontal, they go downward. Some researchers believe this could be a plasma phenomena. Others argue that they match the behavior of UAPs over the Pacific and the southern China Sea. So they're very similar to those. So why Greenland? I guess that's it. Greenland is sitting on one of the largest untapped regions of the rare earth elements on the planet, all essential for advanced electronics, propulsion systems, and energy technologies. If you were an extraterrestrial civilization monitoring Earth's technical development, Greenland would be a strategic point for several reasons. Number one, the mineral abundance. Rare earths are scarce globally, but concentrated in Greenland's southern region. Low population density, perfect or covert extraction or observation. Mineral minimal surveillance, harsh weather, and limited infrastructure reduce detection risks. Geopolitical tension. Of course, as we all know, today we are in the middle of this geopolitical tension over Greenland. Multiple nations, the United States, China, Russia, Denmark, are competing for access, a pattern that often mirrored in UFO hotspots. Okay, so anytime there's minerals involved, anytime there's other countries involved, multiple countries, they have an interest in these type of minerals, very possibly. We got some hot spots going on here. Some theorists suggest that UFO activity increases around areas where humanity ex is extracting resources that may cosmically be valuable to them. If that is true, Greenland's mineral rush could be drawing attention. The idea isn't as wild as it sounds. Antarctica has similar theories. Greenland's geology is even more conducive to hide structures. Okay, so there's some other theories here that could also strengthen the hotspot case. One of them is the magnetic anomalies. Greenland sits near the wandering north uh, magnetic pole. Sudden shifts in magnetic fields can attract or interact with advanced propulsion systems. Okay, so then of course there's a climate change exposure as the ice melts. Previously hidden structures, natural or unnatural, could start emerging. Increasing sightings could collaborate with newly exposed terrain. Okay, all of a sudden, the terrain is now bare rock, and now our world countries or extraterrestrials could start seeing and extracting some of these minerals. Military secrecy. Wherever the United States military builds radar networks, strange lights follow, or strange sightings follow. Greenland has some of the most advanced early warning systems on Earth. So, final thought. When you combine all the historic sightings, modern anomalies, rare earth wealth, military presence, and the possibility of hidden subglacier environments, Greenland starts to looking less like a frozen wasteland and more like a quiet, overlooked UFO hotspot. If the Arctic is the new frontier of the global competition, it may also be a new frontier of extraterrestrial interest, and Greenland sits right in the center of that mystery. So there you go. A lot of reasons to be interested in Greenland. Sounds like it to me, for sure. Happy trails until we meet again. Bye bye.